It's episode 12, and it's been about 6 months since I released an episode. And during that 6 months, I have been busy, and I just haven't gotten around to actually editing the stuff I've been doing. So we're going to go back in time. I mean, it's mid-June 2023 right now, and let's go back to January when I was doing some work to this and get you back up to speed until current day. So let's get into it. It's 2023 and I'm back. So we did Summernats in the blue car and it was crazy. It was the busiest I've ever seen it in the 25 years I've been going. So having sold out all the entrants and sold out all the spectator tickets, it was just mayhem on the Saturday. I've never seen the cruise route turn into a traffic jam so bad. I've never seen so many people line the streets for the entirety of the venue so deep. So yeah, it was awesome. And I really wish this thing was ready, but it wasn't. But I still enjoyed it in the blue car. So now I'm going to get stuck back into doing some stuff to this to hurry up and get it painted and registered. So let's get to it. It's the Easter long weekend and the sun is shining, so it's a perfect opportunity for me to get this car out of the garage and turn it around so I can get to the driver's side, so I can actually pull that door off and start paint stripping it. So whilst we actually turn it around, we're also going to put in the middle of the garage, do a wheel alignment, so adjust all the steering components that I put in brand new, see if I can square it up as best as I can, and probably put the shitty rims on so then I don't get any paint stripping stuff on them when I'm doing the rear quarters. And yeah, let's just do a little status update where I'm currently up to. So passenger door is currently in bare metal, just waiting for a good day to whack some etch primer on that. So as you can see, passenger door is off. I've just started masking up some of the trims and the glass, so as I continue to dismantle I don't accidentally scratch anything, minimize any damage. Also couldn't help myself in painting up a little bit of a panel in the colour that I want the car, just to see how it actually look. And so on the nose cone that I'm not repairing, I have done a sample of the colour Fusion and just did a hand mask up job for the black GTS stripes, just to get an idea of how it actually looks, and I like it. So let's get this outside in the sun, turn this car around, and yeah, make sure all the brakes work and actually move under its own power for the first time in almost 2 years. Alright, let's get to it. Well, another weekend has rolled around and we are making progress in the car. There's been a fair few things that I haven't filmed just because they're somewhat repetitive and doing the same things. But on Friday night, Dane came around and we managed to get the interior out. So that was a big move forward to be able to get started on the shell. So let's have a quick look at the current situation the car is in right now. So this is where we got up to on Friday night. Managed to get seats carpet out. Got the window down on this side. Got the door trim out on this side. Haven't taken the roof lining out yet. Or haven't finished doing that side. But yeah, dash is still in at the moment, but that'll come out this week. And then I'll book a glazer to take the front and rear windscreens out. I'm gonna actually clean up this floor, I think. Wasn't really on the plan of things to do, but whilst I'm here, I might as well give it a paint strip and give it a coat of the chassis coat of black, just so that it's all clean to work with. I'll probably do it up to this sill, so then from this side on will actually be the colour of the car. And I'll move on to taking the rear bumper off, so then I can really get stuck into paint stripping this shell. So let's do it. Alrighty, so the car is finally at a point where the windscreen and the back window can actually finally come out. I've got all the stainless trim off finally, which was a bit of a stressful ordeal because I don't want to actually twist it, buckle it, bend it, all the rest of it, and also don't want to scratch windows and stuff like that as well. So I figured out a little process that seemed to work for me, and hopefully someone else might be able to find this helpful if they're working on a HQ as well. So I'll quickly show you what I was doing. So what I'm referring to is the stainless trim around here, around the window, around the door frame, and they've got these little clips. And these little clips here are the ones that hold it on the body, and they're a little bit tricky to work with. So what I've been using is a trim removal tool and some piano wire, because it's nice and strong but still a little bit flexible, and I've basically been feeding it, like use the trim removal tool just to lift the trim up a little bit to be able to see what I'm doing, and then use the piano wire and feed it underneath the clip so it would jam under the clip like this, and when it would feed back out the other side, just grab both bits, pull it a little bit to take the load of the tension off it, and then the trim would just pop out. So I would work my way all the way around the window, unclipping it that way, and it seemed to work quite well, and I didn't end up bending anything. And so here is, I suppose, the situation we find ourselves underneath this trim, which is not bad. Like, there is no rust holes, there is no massive things that are looking terrible. I mean, that is a little bit of rust here up in this gutter, so a little bit in the corner. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. Like underneath the horseshoe, I mean, that's a couple of dents there, but absolutely no rust, which is great. Back window, you know, there's a lot of window rubber there and stuff like that, and it was tricky to get out, but we got there. This side is the worst side, so this actually does have, I suppose, a bit of rust here around this corner of the back window, so that's why I'm taking the windows out, so we can get full access to that, make sure we get that sorted out before paint. But yeah, overall, not too bad. even on this side, around this horseshoe. I mean, the horseshoe was actually rusted itself, like the bit that holds the rubber and that the stainless trim hangs onto, but the body itself seems to be all good, and nothing really over here on this corner of the gutter. But yeah, so got all brand new clips of these, so clean all this up, and yeah, just some dirt and stuff in there, but yeah, pretty good shape, so I'm happy with that. Another weekend is rolling around now. It's Saturday morning. Last night I did a little bit more paint stripping on the driver's side on the lower section of the sills. Moved the car to the middle of the garage because on Wednesday the windscreens will come out, so we'll take a video of that. Hopefully they don't get broken in the removal process, because that would be very disappointing. But yeah, let's get stuck into a bit more paint stripping and continue to get this car moving. So this is where we got up to yesterday afternoon. Just doing a little bit of this section along here, doing the lower sills. Coming up alright. Probably going to do the floor in the KBS chassis coater, so I did a quick sample of paint stripping there, and the white come off really easy. You can see the iron oxide underneath and some bare metal. So I'll probably end up doing that after I've done the outside of the shell. But yeah, always time permitting, and sort of this is about as high up as I could go until our windows come out. Boot is currently off, so we've got full access to the back window, ready for Wednesday. So yeah, let's keep moving. The day has finally come to take these windscreens out, so let's do it. And finally the windows are out. Ended up happening in the afternoon and not the morning like it was planned to be, but nevertheless it got done. And realistically I probably could have done it with a bit of assistance from a friend, doing the method that I thought was going to work, which was heat up the wires inside the rubber that you use to put the windscreen in, and then just using some suction cups and some gentle persuasion push the window out, which is exactly what we did. So yeah, nothing special that was really done, but nonetheless they came out without being broken. So let's have a quick look at what was underneath the rubbers. So obviously a little bit of moisture has been sitting a bit underneath the rubber there, a little bit of surface rust, nothing too big over this side on the driver's side of the back window. We move along to what would be, I suppose you call the problem side. Yeah, and there's a little bit of rust in this corner. Hasn't gone through. Well, I'll clean it up a bit more so I can get a better look, but that's what we have found. And other than that, it looks good. Front window surround, it just looks happy. I mean, there's no sign of any rust or anything for this one, so yeah, I think this is just going to be a little cleanup process, which is good. It's been a while with the updates, but here we are. The car is in bare metal, and I'm considering all the paint stripping of the actual car now actually finally done. It has been days of work on this, and it's so dirty, and yeah, but let's have a quick little look at some of the details of how far I've gone with this before I whack some primer on it, and yeah, then I won't ever see this bare metal ever again. So yeah, let's have a quick look at this before it's all gone. So here we are. This is as far as I'm going to go with the bare metal paint stripping. And yeah, let's have a quick little look, eh? So I've sanded and paint stripped and wire wheeled pretty much all the edges. Managed to find and figure out how to get the wiper arm out, which you had to take the vent out, turns out. I've done all this section here, which I'm going to end up painting in a satin black all the way up over this lip. But yeah, this part that you can see that's in bare metal is the exposed bit that will actually be seen through the windscreen. Continued up onto the A-pillars, you know, where you can't actually see it, and I'm preparing to start masking, but as you can see, you know, I've done all inside the gutters down to bare metal, got in absolutely everywhere I can. Roof all done, all around the horseshoe, you know, only a little bit of surface rust here and there. Did all down here. Done the floor, all the floor pan, you know, it's not exactly perfect, but I'm going to hit it with some rust blast before I put the satin rust seal on it, so then that'll be all sealed up. I've already done the guard lip just with some black edge primer. So this side still had the leading in it. This side, however, must have had a repair because this seam has got brass spots instead of the usual actual spot welds. Now, our only little bit of rust is here. The studs, the rivets, I suppose you call it, hold the trim on, must have rusted out at some point along this side. So there was screws in here. Well, in the restoration kit I've actually got some rivets that are actually these little, yeah, studs that'll replace these ones. And they're the exact right size, so I'm going to whack them in as well. So this side, the leading has also not been done on the C-pillar. The horseshoe's alright, so clearly I think this has had a whole rear quarter panel replacement, because also you can tell down here that the joint just isn't factory. So there's a depression there that will need to be pulled out. There was a lot of bog on that section that I dug out, and this also had a rust repair on this lip over here. And yeah, other than that, we're looking pretty good. I need to one of those little rivets came off when I was wire wheeling around it, so I will punch that, drill it, put a rivet in it, so then I've got my stud back in the exact right spot. But yeah, I'm about to continue masking up, ready to whack a thin coat of etch primer on it, and then after the etch primer is done, then I'm going to paint the floor by hand with brush. I will use a spray gun for this section up here, so it's a nice, very smooth finish, and yeah, then it's time to bolt these panels back on and get it ready for transport. Alright, so I've wiped it down with deoxit and wiped that down with a rag, rinsed it off with a damp rag. You know, sometimes it gets that sort of rusty colour to it, so I deoxed it again. I just did it with a dry rag. Seems to turn out a bit better. And then after that, wiped it down with thinners and another clean rag, so it's all wiped down. So this is it. No more bare metal. Let's put some primer on. Let's do it. Alright, it's back in the garage after a prime in the driveway on a nice sunny winter's afternoon, and yeah, it's in primer. So next thing will be painting the floor and just doing the sills black where I want them to, paint these boot hinges as well, and yeah, let's bolt these panels back on and get it ready for transport. So we are getting close. It feels like I finally stopped dismantling stuff and paint stripping and actually now going towards the finish line. So yeah, it's exciting. So during the paint stripping process, when I was wire wheeling all this section where the window sits in, they got these little studs that the window clips actually hold on to. Well, one of the wire wheels actually ripped one of the studs off over here, and I've got some on the back window that obviously had come off previously and just been replaced with screws. Well, with the kit that I got, it actually has these rivets that actually create the stud that we need for the clip to hold on to. So I'm going to drill a little hole in this, pop rivet the little stud on there, and then it'll actually have a clip, or a spot for the clip to actually hold on to. So I'll do a little close-up views of actually what I'm working with, but yeah, let's actually get stuck into it. So there's the original factory studs, what they should actually look like, and this one got ripped off with the wire wheel. There's still a little bit of weld there, you can actually see where it was. Now these are the rivets that I'm going to create one of these studs. I've pulled one apart, so I don't know if you can actually see that, but it's actually got a sort of a step little notch onto it. So yeah, sitting up against that one, it's got the same height to it, so it's got the same profile, and putting the head on the side, it's got the same size head. So these should be a direct replacement that should just work. So let's put one of these in here and put the ones in the back window as well. So I'm using one of the center punches just to make sure that we get right in the right spot. That's where I want to drill. we go. That's one that I want to put in. So grab the rivet gun. Alright. That's what we wanted. Beautiful. Got a rivet in there that the window clip can hold on to. Now let's do the back ones. Alright, so this is where we're up to at the moment. I've got body and primer. I've done the lower part or the other part of the firewall in black, gloss black today. I've masked up the section up here. So I'm actually going to spray this with the satin black with the air gun, so it gives it the best finish possible, because that's obviously presented through the windscreen. And then the rest of it, I'll just go around the edges to brush. So brush, you know, the rest of the window frame, brush up inside this rail, all the way back there and down into the windowsill as far as the brush will reach, and paint all the floor, also in satin black. So we'll do that channel all the way up to that masking point, and that section there I forgot to prime because I was going to paint it black and then I changed my mind. So I actually want that to be the body colour. And yeah, the seam line will be here. So this will be behind all the stainless trim anyway, but that's where the black ceiling will start and go all the way up there. And yeah, do all the parcel shelf. I've already painted the boot hinges in gloss black, so they'll hide in the boot, even though they may get painted the colour of the car anyway, so when they're bolted to the boot they don't stick out so much, but they've already got the sealer on them at least. So yeah, so tomorrow, a sunny day, we will seal this floor up with some KBS chassis coater satin black. And once that dries, well, I'll do 2 coats tomorrow, but I'll probably only video the first coat because the first coat's the only one you actually notice. After that, hopefully that'll dry Saturday night, and on Sunday the plan is to actually bolt the guards, bonnet, boot and doors back on it and move it back over to the side of the garage and be able to return the garage to a 2-car usability. But it also means this thing will actually be ready to transport to Aaron. Actually be ready. I've been talking about it for months and months and months and months. Well, we're actually going to be there. We're actually going to be ready. So yeah, let's get stuck into this painting tomorrow morning. So we've got the first coat of the KBS satin black on, and I must say that it's a bit more shiny than I thought. Maybe I keep confusing what matte black and satin black are with their finishes. So it is not as shiny as gloss, but it's definitely not as matte black where I thought I was going to go. So anyway, we're still going to roll with it. So today we're going to do a second coat and get it done, and then we're going to try and bolt some panels on just temporarily for transport. So let's get into it. So here we are, a cold Monday morning after a big weekend working on the car, and when I was recording, the memory card got full when I was actually painting the floor, and I wasn't going to stop because I just wanted to get as much done as I could on the weekend. So here we are. Let's have a look. Alright, so I have bolted the panels on, only 4 bolts holding the guard on, 4 bolts holding the nose cone on, bolted the bonnet on, but yeah, dashboard painted up. So I sprayed that with the satin, and it turned out alright for an amateur like me. Doors are bolted on, give it a quick alignment so at least they can sort of close. And as you can see, I've done some temporary door rubbers, just a bit of foam taped there. But yeah, our floor is all now painted, which is good. Doors on, it's all going to be hidden by sound deadening and carpet and interior anyway, so it's not like it's ever going to be on display. But at least I know now that it's all sealed up and rust can't start. So I did around all the window edges where the window rubber is going to sit, and yeah, hopefully that's alright. Bolted the boot on as well. So it is ready to actually transport to Aaron. Finally, the day has come. So it has been 2 years since it's basically had all its panels bolted on it and looked like an actual car. So yeah, this is exciting. And one of the things I've done also, so even put a bonnet latch on, so I've got a pull cord. With the fiberglass bonnet, I had to run no springs, just because I can't find the right tension spring that won't make it too hard to shut the bonnet, and don't want to flex too much of the fiberglass and make it crack. Some temporary bonnet rubbers, some foam taped down. But yeah, every single hole I've tapped it with a thread just to make sure it was all cleaned out before putting the brand new bolts in. So all the brand new bolts have been put in with every panel that I've bolted on so far, and that includes the door, so even up here for the latch. And yeah, it is ready to move. So even with the door hinges, I used the brand new bolts. After I cleaned up the threads, I changed my mind with the black here. So I was going to paint this black, and then I figured, it'd be better if it was actually colour of the body. So I've just cut that in there. The door rubber channel will probably go down to about there anyway, something like that. I think there's a screw hole somewhere up here. Anyway, it'll cover down to there, and the trim will cover the rest. But if this is painted body colour, it'll look good. So that's where we're at. So now I will take off the shiny front wheels and put the crumbling ones back on, ready to put on the car trailer. So yeah, can't wait to see this done. So we're back up to current day, and as you can see, the car has its panels on it. It's got the floor painted. It doesn't have windscreens in it. I've bare metaled everything externally and on the underside of a lot of things, and it is ready to go to Aaron at the resto shop. So that's where the next episode is going to kick off, is me transporting it to Aaron, and let's see him work his magic on this car and get it nice and straight, and cannot wait for it to come back to me with paint on it. So let's see how this process goes. Let's see if I actually get it done by the end of this year, which would be amazing, but if not, so be it. But at the end of the day, I've been pushing hard this entire time. Let's just see what's possible. So until the next episode comes out, which hopefully might be when the car actually comes back. So yeah, and maybe a few months before you see the next episode. Anyway, catch you in the next one.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to sand this bonnet and turn it to gold. The whole entire car to gold, including the number plates, but we don't know about the windows yet, so make sure to watch and see what happens, and like and subscribe. Yeah. 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 Yeah.